stakeholders who are electing the new office at the Kandanda House.
Yes.
They had a lot of expectation from delivering off the pitch and even avoiding the drama, office drama, or rather administration drama. But then again, 2 weeks ago, we've seen what is happening between the CEO and the president, or rather the FKF, the Football Kenya Federation, and the CEO, who is Arocho Ndege. There's a court case. There's a case at the court. Arocho, what is happening?
Well, it's quite
because there's a lot of allegations.
It's quite unfortunate. I feel a lot of pain because I'm one of the guys who are so critical, going by the previous regime's performance, more so in the second term. I believe that Hussein, Mohamed, and Ndege are very good tag team, but unfortunately things are not working. I've really kept off this saga. Yes, I've kept off because I feel that we are going to lose a very good tag team. I like the brilliance that come with Hussein Mohamed. I like the kind of football knowledge that comes with Ndege. But because the saga is escalating and I'm not seeing them working together, that's why I feel somehow disappointed by the kind of environment we are currently experiencing. I was having a discussion with some basketball stakeholders, and they were wondering, they were asking me, Arocho, what's wrong with soccer? Currently, the government is giving the federation the best kind of support that we've ever seen in this game. Unlike other teams, Harambee Stars picked 5.5 million each player from Chan. The kind of stadium that the government is putting in terms of Talanta, in the name of Talanta Stadium, Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium, along Gong Road. So all this for me is confusing me, and that's why I've kept quiet, because I still believe that this is the best tag team that could have taken Kenyan soccer to the next level. If
there are guys who shouldn't talk about administration, and let me just say this on the camera, if there are guys who are not supposed to talk about administration, or things should be done or in the federation level, Kenya Basketball Federation, because they haven't held the election for the longest.
No, that's why
they shouldn't question about anything.
They were not questioning.
I think you've not understood it. He's trying to say that FKF has support. It has probably good leadership. Basketball, we're having the reverse of it. We have almost no support.
So wanashangaa. Arocho, do you think Nani will survive, the CEO? Because allegation from failing to...
It's very hard. I mean, kama napelekana court, I think it's imminent that he was going to leave. There was also an injunction, I think, to stop the meeting that was supposed to remove him. So if it's gone that far, I think there's inside information that he's leaving. And I don't know what's happening in the FKF. There's a lot of, I will call it bad mouthing. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of lost confidence in the already elected leaders. And it's so early. I think we're, 1.5 years in? So...
look at the allegation. Number one is failure to notify the president of a parliamentary committee invitation. So hapa alinyamaza. President nasikia alijua baadaye kulikuwa na invitation. Second one is poor planning in the appointment of the under-17 technical bench.
Well, these are in-house issues. The 22 points that are placed against Ndege, for me, I think they're just office issues that need to be discussed within that space. It's unfortunate, and that's why I'm saying I feel it. It has spilled over, and the entire country feels like the game is going down. I even believe that the president, William Samoei Ruto, is really disappointed, because the kind of belief that the president had in this regime, and that's why he's given them all that support. We had a tournament that was to come up, the Kenya Cup. It's no longer coming up, at least for the days that we've had, the 10 days in the year. At the moment, that tournament should have kicked off. The president was once said that he's going to organize the biggest tournament that has been organized around this region. And for me, the president I feel that he's so disappointed, putting a lot of resources, putting a lot of energy around football, and then you start having squabbles.
Even in terms of stakeholders, I think there's very low investment in the Kenya Premier League. And one of the things, they had a sit down with the president of the federation, and one of the things they mentioned is lack of good structures. I mean, if they're seeing these squabbles, how do you invest? How do you come back to the league and say, okay, if your leadership is stumbling, how do you think the league is doing? And that's why it's very hard to even compete with the Tanzanians of this world. The younger, look at the leadership that is there in Tanzania right now. Look at Uganda, they're still competing, even if they're not at the level at which Tanzania is. If you look at those 22 things that were mentioned, under 15, all of our unders teams are there. 15, 17, mismanagement of teams, I don't know, lack of planning, mismanagement of funds that is coming from FIFA. I mean, how if you're a corporate, how do you invest again?
Speaking of planning, kuna siku tulienda game, tulikuwa naenda cover game at Nyayo Stadium, the training of the Starlets,
yes,
the women national football team, Harambee Starlets. And hiyo time yenye tulikuwa nadhani ndio time ya training, tulipata Gor Mahia, walikuwa already wamebukuaje. And then we raised a lot of questions on nani alikuwa anapanga hii time, nani alibook stadium, and how professional that unprofessional that one was, because journalists were there and the footballers were there. Not just footballers, but the national football team ilikuwa hapo with the coach ako hapo. So they were waiting on a training anza saa 2, but walikaa hapo until 2 hours ikaisha. Gor Mahia said, you know what, we had booked the stadium and it's our time to train. So wakangoja hadi ilikuwa saa 4, wakangoja hadi saa 4 na training ilikuwa inafaa ianze saa 2. Arocho, a quick one, because it's not the first time that we are seeing the likes of Harold. The last time ilikuwa Mariga and Hussein, and people are saying, you know, Mariga has been kicked out of the office. There's another vice president rather than Mariga.
I think I'd like to hear.
Arocho quick one tukimaliza.
No, I'll bring in Angie.
No, yeah, I want to hear her perspective, because she trains abroad.
Nataka kumaliza na yeye.
Yes.
Nataka kumaliza na yeye.
Arocho on you. Yeah, because currently the national women team is preparing for AFCON that is going to be played in Morocco in a month or so. And it's so frustrating that at the moment that we need to be gearing for the ladies, and I believe that she can also help the team with our performance in the US, we should be concentrating. There should be less noise at the moment within the federation, because the concentration should be now, where are our ladies going to train before they go to Morocco? But we are still dealing with issues of court cases, because Ndege went to court, and currently all that the federation was planning to do to host Ndege has been halted. This tells you that substantively, Harold Ndege is still the CEO. Yes. So for me, there's a lot of confusion, which should not be coming in when our ladies are going to play in Morocco. I don't know if you've ever played for the team, but I normally say that if there's a team that will take us to the World Cup, before the other is the women team.
I mean, under 17 took us to.
Yes. Okay, I'm talking about the senior team.
Oh, okay.
The team that is going to take us to the World Cup.
It's the generation for the under 17.
It is the ladies. Either way, it is the ladies. So we need to concentrate, put all our effort, and make sure that our ladies are ready for the tournament.
Angie, from a footballer perspective, what is happening and how it's affecting football and footballers?
I think, as Arocho said, President Ruto has shown that he's willing to support. I mean, we've seen from Chan, he's given a lot of money to players to be able to play, and he supported us. And now to see some mismanagement going on, he loses faith in the governance of the FKF. So how sure are we he's going to support us as the women's football, you know? And again, under 17 took us to World Cup. So, and as Arocho said again, women's team are the ones who are going to take us to World Cup eventually, because they've shown us they can reach there. I mean, we're going for AFCON now. So what next? But now, if we're not being helped by the management, how are we supposed to get there? How are we supposed to, things like training, we're going for training and then we find, Gor Mahia booked the stadium. And as the national team, we expect to kind of be given like first priority because we're representing the nation. So it's a bit tough.
It's frustrating.
It's tough and frustrating. And even hearing things like under 15 Wamelala, they've slept outside, they were not given facilities, or like coming back home, or like the selection happened a few days before going. Like things like that become so frustrating. And even as a player, you just lose motivation because you're like, why should I do this?
All right, moving on from Kenya, that is whatever is happening at Kandanda House and also the Football Kenya Federation Premier League. We've talked about Oktoi, but now we can cross over to what is happening across the world. And speaking across the world, the biggest tournament, let's say the biggest tournament, one of the biggest tournament in the world, that is Africa Cup of Nations. From 24 teams now, it's 4 teams. Speaking of 4 teams, Egypt will be facing Senegal and Nigeria will be facing